What up, YouTube? It's your boy Banks. And we back in the building, you feel me? It's True Talks. Cause True Talks, alright? Let's get straight right into it. So you already know, congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers. They are the 2020 NBA champions. We give them a round of applause. You already know. Congrats to y'all. We appreciate, you know what I mean, at the end of the day, the NBA bubble. We appreciate the NBA for putting on that bubble, putting on display, bringing back the season, having everything, you know, just come back fully. And just at the end of the day, the bubble was what elite looks like in terms of, you know, just the competition. In terms of the actual games, it was entertaining. We actually had basketball for the first time in September, in October, you know what I'm saying? And just in August, we had basketball. So it was like the first time we actually seen that. Obviously, we missed the fans and there's a lot of things that you do miss. But at the end of the day, the content, the actual basketball from just basically strictly just basketball. We actually had it. Regardless of whether you like the bubble or the fans, we actually got to watch basketball and got to watch games, got to watch pressure, got to watch clutch, got to watch game winners. You know what I mean? We got to watch it all. So again, congratulations to the NBA for one of the only leagues to do, you know, an actual successful season, host a trophy, host a championship, and also have zero coronavirus cases. So again, applause to the NBA for that. And then we do appreciate, you know, just a fact that the Lakers showed us what elite looks like. They went in to the bubble. Obviously, people wanted 5-5-5-5, but they got 5-5, 5, and 6. And at the end of the day, they were mentally strong as opposed to in terms of off the court. They're mentally strong, and it all started from LeBron as a leader. You know what I'm saying? Off the court, he got them, you know, just mentally focused, mentally ready. It was challenging for the players in the bubble, you know, dealing with not having their family. Obviously, the families came later, but just, you know, the full regular routine of what you would do, let's say when a game happens in the regular time. Obviously, there's benefits with less travel and stuff like that. But again, there was just, you know, some players feed off the fans, right? Some players, you know, it's just hard to, you know, you have a bad game or you miss a shot and you go home to maybe your significant other or your kids or whoever, your friends, your family, and just they help you unwind. They don't really talk too much about the game. You know what I mean? You get lost in just, you know, you can just take yourself away from the game and just, you know, kick your feet back and just chill out. But when you're in the bubble, all you have is your phone. All you have is the video games. All you have is that social media. So all you're doing is just engaging and just seeing it every second, as opposed to being with your family. Time gets past and then you don't even know what they're talking about, right? So obviously you're going to know what they're talking about. But to that extent, you're not just ingratiated, you know, and just engaged and just basically just tuned in like you were in the bubble. So that's obviously mentally going to distract you and mentally going to create more pressure and put you, like Paul George, put him in a depression, put him in a bad state, right? So the fact that, you know, off the court, like it was challenging for players playing in the bubble. So again, the fact that the Lakers were able to be the last one standing, you know what I mean? On the strength of obviously LeBron mentally, Rondo mentally, those guys leading and Jason Kidd and the rest of the coaching staff, Frank Vogel, just mentally getting the team to a great state where their chemistry was second to none. You can see, and from the first game in the bubble, the way they were celebrating, and just even the way like they were bringing energy. There was no fans and stuff like that. You could see that, okay, they're here for a mission. Okay, they're tuned in. They're kind of like straight, you know, chemistry wise. They're straight with everyone knows what their role is. Everyone's amped. Everyone's trying to get this done. You know what I'm saying? And you could see that. And that's normally the underlying thing that people don't really talk about with chemistry. They just talk about the talent and the you know, from first to second or, you know, first to 15 down the roster, but they don't talk about the chemistry. Does this player know his role? Or is these people fighting? Obviously, when you fight, the brothers fight all the time, but at the end of the day, it's fighting and it's just, what's good, bro? You good? In 2 seconds. That's how it normally is. That when you get to that factor and when you get to that point when it comes to a team, that's when you know your chemistry is straight, because you're always going to fight. If anything, if you don't fight, you're kind of like, yo, are you telling me the truth or are you just sugarcoating stuff, right? So when you get to that point where you could fight and then you just dap up the next day or to dap up an hour or whatever it is from when the fight happens, that's when you know the chemistry is solid. That's when you know it's a brotherhood. That's when you know it's a family and we're going to ride or die and we're here together. So that's what you could kind of see from the Lakers. You didn't see that from the Clippers. You didn't see that from a lot of other teams, right? So you got to appreciate that. And that normally starts from the head of the snake, which is LeBron and the coaching staff and Rondo and them. Those are the mental leaders. So when you look at that off the court, that's definitely something that, you know, you got to appreciate and you got to basically tip your hat off to when it comes to that. Obviously, LeBron got his 4th ring and his 4th finals MVP, and he definitely it was well deserved, because I know all y'all Bron fans coming for me all day, every day. And like I said, it's funny because because I criticize LeBron, and not just LeBron, I criticize Kawhi, I criticize anybody. If you really know Banks as a channel and you really know Banks, the whole point of what I do is I give you insight or give you IQ. That's what I do about these, you know, these media narratives, just exposing it and just giving you truth about the game. Like I told you, it's not about who I like as a player. It's not about who I dislike. It's not about none of that shit. It's not about none of that. At the end of the day, my passion and love for the game is first. You know what I'm saying? I can like a player. I can like this person or whatever. At the end of the day, when stuff is said that gets out of hand, it's like, no, that's not true. That's cap. Or no, like, what do you mean? It's about the game first. There's certain things you don't say about, you just don't throw around certain words. You just, like I say, with gold and all this stuff, you just certain things you just can't just throw around and you don't use loosely. And it's because why I have passion for the game and I'm true to the game. And it's about that first, everything else second, right? If this person is elite, but he's sus, is at the end of the day, you know what is elite for that situation. You know what the game has showed you. You know what a person is supposed to do in this situation. If he sus the runs, nah, you call him out. And that's how it normally goes. Everybody, there's been every player. There's not been one player that you haven't seen me critique. Obviously, when it comes to Kobe or MJ, you haven't seen me necessarily talk about them in real time. My channel hasn't been out during that time. But every player that you've been seeing in real time play, from Kawhi to, from Kawhi to KD to whoever, you see me say something negative about them and something positive about them, right? So y'all that call me a LeBron hater, it's funny because at the end of the day, it's straight cap. At the end of the day, if you want to say I'm a LeBron hater, I'm a LeBron fan hater. Yes, that's true, because they be talking the most nonsense. But at the end of the day, LeBron got his 4th ring, got his 4th finals MVP. And like I said, and it always comes down to this, it's funny. I should even played it back, but y'all who've been following, you've known Banks has said Lakers in what? Lakers in what? Lakers in what? Lakers in 6. Everybody else said Lakers in 4. Everybody else said Lakers in 5. I said Lakers in 6 because I know and I respected the tangibles, the fighting dog of Jimmy Butler. You know what I'm saying? The IQ, that's what I do. Even with them being injured. Now, obviously, I expected it to be more of a 5-game, 4-game sweep with the injuries. But at the end of the day, I still predicted Lakers in 6 for a reason. It was more so because maybe a 1-2 close game they could steal. LeBron doing the pass, and he always does that one game in the final. So stuff like that, I'm like, you know what? That he can steal some. And I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt in that situation because of the mentality that they've shown me. They've shown that they're not weak, mentally frail in terms of grand scheme of just, oh, we're outmatched, sit it down. We've seen them outmatched on paper or outmatched record-wise, team-wise, win-wise with the Bucks. We've seen them outmatched with skill set with the Celtics. We've seen them outmatched and still, fight through. That's what I might do. So why would I change it now for the Lakers? You know what I'm saying? So again, that's an attribute and a testament to Jimmy Butler, Eric Spoelstra, Pat Riley, the coaching staff and all of them, and basically just the team in general, especially with them having young boys on that type of stuff. Like, you got to tip your hat off to them. And like I said, I predicted Lakers in 6. So for y'all, because of one game within that prediction, LeBron, decided to pass the ball, etc., or whatever happened, I'm now critiquing something he did, which a lot of people were doing. And the ones who played the game, they know at the end of the day, the balls, like, this is a game. This is what you dream for a game winner, off the court, walk-off shot. Like, this is the moment. This is the moment. Solidify it. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself in that category. Put yourself, I'm that guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you want to see. You just want to see eliteness. Doesn't matter who it is. If it wasn't LeBron, even if it was AD, whoever it was, if you're that guy, you shoot that. You don't even ask for a screen to even get double team. Because again, y'all talking about he was double teamed, he passed. I'm not even talking about getting to the paint and double team. You don't need to go to the paint because they're going to double you in the paint. Most of the game winning shots, you don't ever see a layup game winner when the clock running down with 10 seconds. You see a jump shot because we don't put the onus in the double team. We don't put the onus in somebody else. We don't put the onus on the refs to bail me out and call a call. Or put it in their hand where they might not call and like put it in someone else's hands. We trust ourselves. We put it in our hands. We ISO. I might go psycho for this last bucket. And that's what I was talking about when it came to LeBron. I seen him plethora of times pass it up without an ISO. People bring up the MJ with the Kerr and whatever, forgetting that in game 1 with the Jazz, MJ got the game winner on Brian Russell's bean with a hezzy 1-dribble pull-up. That now in game 6, he was going to get a game winner again, but he's like, you know what? They're going to blitz me and double team because they tried to do it in game 1. I already got the game winner. They're going to try and do it again. And then now he passed the Kerr. People don't add context. The way people talk about it is like he just passed the Kerr. Without no double team, he just passed the Kerr. As if he didn't get a game winner in the same series earlier. On the same spot from the same man. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way they just erase things is funny. But at the end of the day, it's not about that. I'm just giving context and I digressed. At the end of the day, it's about giving praise where praise is due. LeBron got the ring and he's the crown. He's the king right now. You know what I'm saying? He got the crown. He dethroned. Obviously, he didn't face Kawhi, and that's not his fault. That's Kawhi's fault. That's why I say Kawhi has to earn it and redeem. Just like how LeBron had to earn it and redeem this season, he did that. And at the end of the day, that's what elite looks like in the fact that he did that. You know what I'm saying? AD now also well getting the ring, but again, we appreciate the fact that they came through. At least it wasn't, obviously we would want happy for Butler and whatever, but at least it wasn't an underdog ring. It was a Lakers or a Clippers ring. That's what people thought it was the whole time. So the fact that the Lakers held their end of the bargain, and that's what elite looks like. You always want the elite to keep being elite. Obviously, we want Jimmy Butler. We want some other guys. I want a ring for them. I appreciate them and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, as someone who just loves what elite looks like, that's me. I want the elite to keep being elite. That's just me. Obviously, if you want to get to be elite, you have to dethrone them. But that's part of dominance. I love dominance. I love three-peating. I just love seeing excellence at high form, because then it shows you what you got to aspire to be. It shows you what you got to change and tweak and do what you got to do to get to this. If you want to dominate. And you know what I'm saying? And you get rewarded by dominating, showing yourself and showing out. And that's what I like to see. So again, LeBron now has established him and AD as a dynamic duo amongst the Laker greats. Also amongst just the NBA greats in historic fashion. The fact that they won a ring. Dynamic duos can be a dynamic duo, but if you don't get a ring as a dynamic duo, you kind of get lost in the shuffle when it's all said and done. When, years removed, they talk about all these duos, right? So the fact that AD came and got one and LeBron got one there within his second season with the Lakers is, again, what elite looks like at the end of the day. Like I said, y'all calling me a LeBron hater. I predicted the Lakers in 6. I just critiqued the game regardless. And the more people that cap for certain players, the more you'll hear me speak about them, because I have to always address something reckless they've said, something reckless they've said. But at the end of the day, man, again, I would go into context and do breakdown of this game, but it was just a blow from the jump. I could talk about it on 1-2. It's not really that much. A lot of it came down to Jimmy Butler didn't even look the same. And like I said, anytime Jimmy Butler doesn't go to work, they lose. The 2 times he went to work and did historic type of game, they won. So that just tells you everything. That just tells Jimmy Butler was going to that passive thing. And normally this is what I'm saying. People who also were comparing Butler, he's mentally frail right now. He's tired. There's going to be moments when you're giving your all that you're going to look weaker at sometimes. Obviously, the level of weak that you look like determines on the type of superstar tear you're on. So we already know Jimmy Butler has now put himself into elite. But he's still not, he's in the middle of superstar and all-star. He's not just a regular all-star, obviously, because he went to the finals and pushed the grain. So he's above that, but he's not a superstar. He's below that. So he's in between. He's like all-star 2.0. You know what I'm saying? That's what he is. He's not a superstar, but he's not just an all-star. And he's on that because he doesn't, for him to the fact that people are surprised that he had a 40-point triple-double shows you the caliber of player he actually normally is. And he does have ability, step backs and all that type of stuff. But Jimmy Butler, especially since he came to the Heat, he's done more so of you know what? I'm going to get this guy involved. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And he always has been doing intangibles and always been passing and all that type of stuff. But it's more been highlighted and been on a higher tier that all of his stuff that he be doing when it comes to when he came to the Heat, because he finally is so happy that guys think like him. He doesn't have to take over. Doesn't have to prove. Obviously, he still has to prove, but he doesn't have to prove like that to just get bucket, try and get 30, try and get 30. You know what I'm saying? He can just, I have shooters. These guys are dogs. I'm happy for them. Go to work, boy. Hero, you're that guy. You know what I mean? So he's chilling. And sometimes now when you're forced to now go to work, the fact that he was forced to with Dragic and Bam being injured and he was forced to go to work shows you it's a testament to Butler. It's a testament to he still has something at least in his bag with fries at the bottom. And the fact that he was doing it in clutch and going at LeBron, like that was amazing from Jimmy Butler. So he should be happy about himself, even though they didn't win the ring. He should be happy. He didn't get swept. He not only didn't just get gentlemen swept, he won 2 games. Now, obviously, you don't just only want to win 2 games. I know in that term, Jimmy Butler's a dog. He's not happy that he lost. But regardless, like in the grand scheme of things, as a 5th seed, the fact that he won 2 games as a 5th seed is a great accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, now that trickles down to when you look from the Lakers' perspective, the fact that they won this ring, obviously, and they won in a bit blowout fashion. And like I was always saying, the Lakers have to blow these guys out, because in a clutch game, the Heat have shown that, especially even versus Celtics, even versus Milwaukee, they've shown that they've been poised. They've showed that they've executed down the stretch, as opposed to other teams don't really do that, right? They don't always get clutch. Like the Heat have been extraordinary in the clutch. You know what I'm saying? They've been elite in the clutch throughout the whole playoffs. So them having a clutch game and might get nervous for maybe AD or Braun or whoever, maybe Kuzma or whoever, and then do the same thing we saw in Game 5 with the pass, Danny Green and whatever. So it's like, do you want to be in that situation? So I already knew coming out the gate that they were going to have to, LeBron's like, yo, we're not going into no clutch situation out of that. And then we're going to a Game 7 and anything can happen. Hell no. Blow these guys out from the jump. And then it came down to Butler's have to create it and like that. But when and it's only 1 day rest, and it's like he's basically only like in 2 games. I think he only rested like Game 4 and Game 5. He only rested like 3 minutes. Like in total, I don't even think he sat out a whole quarter in all the games combined. I don't even think he sat out a whole quarter. I don't think he sat up 12 minutes combined in all the games. So like imagine like the fatigue Butler feels like with an ankle injury. Like people are forgetting about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, he's playing through it and it doesn't look like sometimes he's injured, but that affects movements. That affects how fast you go. That affects more fatigue because you know what I mean? Just little things like that people don't pay attention to. It's not going on the stat sheet. You have to just know ball to know or play ball to know these things that actually hinder you. So I just give all the praise to Jimmy Butler. But that again, that for me, like, again, I give praise to LeBron and AD and all of them and the Lakers, and just at the end of the day, in the biggest moments. They were hitting the shots. They were playing well. They played defense and all that type of stuff and did great. But at the end of the day, like I told you, like this should have been a sweep. This should have been 5 games. So me, from basketball perspective and ranking it amongst maybe, like the Kobe's winning and the LeBron and the MJ's winning and just other elites winning, even the Golden State Warriors with their dominance, like they swept LeBron and yet another All-Star. And was a number 1 seed or 2 seed or whatever seed. Like he was, you know what I mean? And they swept him. And yeah, there was a deeper team and all that type of stuff with no injuries. And you look at most times when you're dominant like that and it's a mismatch, you sweep. They didn't sweep. And then 5 games they're supposed to win in good fashion, like how, KD Game 3 set the tone and he did all of that type of stuff. But like, it was time. And people are forgetting it came down to the clutch too. In Game 5 with KD's first ring with the Warriors. And then every bucket he was scoring. And that's when it now turned into a decent win at down the stretch. But like I was saying, like they're supposed to win that in 5 or 4. Like the fact that it went to 6 games to me takes away somewhat from me rating your ring. Obviously, it's still a ring. You know what I mean? Whether you win in 6 or 7, it don't matter. But the way it was a mismatch, the way it was like a 5th seed, like you gotta just take in perspective. And I don't like to do this because, again, they're going to say that I'm a hater or whatever, but just perspective. Like Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat, they're a 5th seed and they had their 2 main scorers because Butler was scoring, but he wasn't the 2 main producers throughout the whole playoffs. It was Bam and Dragic, and those two guys were out. That's 40 points per game. And they were injured. Bam obviously came back, but he missed 2 games or whatever, crucial games. So when you look at it from that perspective, and then not only that, the Miami Heat's a 5th seed. So technically, like, the Lakers were in the finals, but they were actually playing like they were in the second round. And that's something that people aren't thinking about. They're a 5th seed. 1 versus 4 or 5 is the second round. Even in the second round, when the Lakers beat the Houston Rockets in 5, they were the 4th seed. And I'm pretty sure the Houston Rockets record might be a bit better than Miami Heat or similar. So that's a second round matchup. 1 versus 4 or 1 versus 5. That's a second round matchup. Because if they faced OKC won in game 7, that's a second round matchup. But it's in the finals. Like, you don't see that. You actually don't see that. So that's something that people aren't understanding or erasing, that's a huge mismatch. Like, that's a big mismatch. Because it's a finals, but it's an early round playoff game. So, you know what I mean? When do you assume the 4th seed or 5th seed is going to beat the 1st seed? Right? Is it really even a contest? Normally, mans talk about the 1st seed getting knocked off. Really, like, oh my God, they might lose. In the conference finals, when they talk about it, like, any team could win. They don't talk second round. They already know, like, it's light work. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, again, the ring is a big ring. The ring is something that's great, especially what it does for LeBron and pushing him, you know, and pushing him along further down the line when it comes to the greats. Again, I still don't have LeBron as the GOAT. Doesn't mean I'm a hater. Doesn't mean this. Everything that I've been saying still stands. I know some of y'all are going to go, oh my God, this. And then you're going to bring up these stats and bring up this and bring up that and bring up that. When all that shit at the end of the day is irrelevant, because I go off stats as, stats is kind of like helps tell the story, but I don't go off stats as the end all, because stats erase a lot of the context. It's numbers. How do the numbers come is what I come down to. So again, I don't want to get this video to be a GOAT conversation video. I'm not doing that. At the end of the day, LeBron fans, Lakers fans, all of y'all, you know what I mean, can enjoy this. You can enjoy this. I'm not going to talk about, oh my God, it's the bubble or whatever and all that type of, I'm not going to do all of that, because at the end of the day, a ring is a ring. We'll go into depths later on, especially when the new season is coming and stuff like that. We'll go into depths of more of how I feel, into more depths about the ring. But at this time now, there's no need. There's no need to do all of that. Just appreciate the ring. Credit LeBron. Now, what this ring does for LeBron's legacy is it helps his case a lot. Again, I've never really truly compared LeBron to MJ. I've never done that, because I already know, one, their play styles are different. And you can compare people with different play styles, you know what I'm saying? But it just makes more sense that, like, again, Kobe gets compared to MJ, and basically MJ accomplishments wise is the number 1 version of that guy, and Kobe's the second version of that guy. But skill wise, Kobe's the better version. I already have my reasons for that. I'm gonna tell you, I can go into depth about that all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I will never, ever put Kobe over MJ in you know, accomplishments and just career and all. Like, never. It's just blasphemous. I'll never do that. And that's me as a Kobe fan. So it's like, that's why I just get, and if someone doesn't do that for Kobe, it's not, I say, oh, you're hating on Kobe. No. Like, that's why for Bron fans, it's always like, if you say one negative thing, if you don't think of LeBron the way they think of LeBron, it means you're hating. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. For me, LeBron has always been compared to Magic. I've always had LeBron as the 2.0 version of Magic. I didn't have LeBron over Magic because of, you know, winning. I've seen Magic win as a rookie. You know what I'm saying? And Magic winning as a rookie, like, the fact that he won as a rookie, and then in that game, he's not a guy who's a scorer, but still became clutch and had a clutch jump shot and stuff like that. Those are the moments you remember. It's like, this guy's elite. You know what I'm saying? And I've always had Magic over LeBron, especially. Like, Magic is the most elite passer I've ever witnessed. Like that, you know what I mean? And I didn't even see him like real time. I wasn't even born then. You know what I'm saying? But watching the games, I go back and watch the throwback games and stuff like that, and just watching, and then you seeing his highlights. And obviously, I don't like to just only look at highlights, because it just shows the best. I like to see the full game context, and it's hard to watch every single game. You know, it's limited, right? But the games that I've seen, and then you use the stats to kind of see where stuff was coming with. Magic was just elite in that sense. And not only that, the finals for me, they always talk about finals this, finals that. Oh my God, you just talk about rings. Like, those matter. They don't matter because at the end of the day, you're trying to win. Like, that's why you're playing, is to win. To be the elite, to win a ring, be finals MVP and win these things. That's what you're trying to win. And even if you don't win finals MVP, to win a ring. Like, you're trying to win and be on top. And everything you do, be on top individually, be on top team-wise. So it's like, if you're not accomplishing that, or you get to the finals and you're losing that does take a hit from you. You know what I'm saying? So Magic is 5-4 in the finals. He still has a positive record. LeBron now is 4-6. So I still had him, especially before he was 3-6. I had Magic as that prototype of a player. Magic was the better version for me, which is why I didn't have LeBron in my top 5, because I have different play styles, the best of each type of play style in that top 5. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have LeBron there because, again, my top 5 is mixed with accolades and mixed with skill set. It's not just, you know what I mean? It's not just accolades or rings. It's like, it's both. You have to get a certain amount of rings to even be in that conversation. And then if you get at least a base level of like maybe 2 rings or whatever the case is, or even just 1 ring, as long as you get them, you're in that status and you have a winning percentage or a decent percentage in the finals. Now we could talk about the skill set you have and rank them amongst this, that, and all that type of stuff with the stats, right? But now winning this ring, even though it's 4-6, is because LeBron's stats are so tremendous and so reckless that it's actually blasphemous having Magic over LeBron. And the reason, that's why, especially with this ring, for me, shifted him further along down the grades, because you doing it with 3 different teams, obviously, in some people's eyes, it's a negative because it's like, oh my God, you have to do it with 3 different teams to get this, while other mans are doing it with 1 team and whatever. And they're not chasing rings or whatever. For me, that matters in terms of GOAT conversation. But in terms of top 5 conversation, the fact that you're getting these rings regardless is rings. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you have a lot of tremendous help, but to be in the top 5, his stats are his stats are like number 1, number 2 type of stats. You know what I'm saying? But his rings and his accomplishments in those are normally like a top 5 type of category. So that's why I already have him higher now, especially with this one higher than Magic. You know what I'm saying? And that win percentage, yes, is 4-6, but his stats are so reckless that him and Magic were already tight. It's like his stats are slap Magic's. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's like he has the nod over Magic. So again, LeBron is the better version, the 2.0 version of Magic. And Magic is hella elite. Like, that man is hella elite. If you go look at it, he's hella elite. But at the end of the day, LeBron is a 2.0 version of him. His passing isn't as elite as Magic, but everything else, he's a 2.0 version of him. So, you know what I mean? LeBron is definitely top 5. LeBron shouldn't even be out your top 5, to be honest. But there is some people with skill set. Like, I have 2 different lists. Skill set wise, he's not in my top 5. But accolades and combined, he's in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? He's in my top 5. And he's definitely there. That's a boost that he's got after this ring. Because again, 3-6 is too. It's 3-6 is too. The winning matters to me. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about stats. Because I understand how stats come. I understand different guys, different situations. Like, I understand I can get nitpicking with the stats. I can do that. Give a nitpick context with this stats. This guy's stats is not the same because this guy's holding the ball like a point guard. This guy's playing off ball. There's so many things and so many factors. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, the 4th ring, being in the elite company with 4 finals MVPs, something that Kobe doesn't have, other guys don't have. Like, he's definitely in the top 5 just off of those things alone. You know what I'm saying? And that 4th one put him in that category for me. So that's what I look at from that. He's in the top 5. You know what I'm saying? And again, he is the best point guard that has ever played when it comes to LeBron. You know what I'm saying? And for me, he's still not my GOAT. But he's in the top 5. You know what I'm saying? He's in my top 5. It doesn't mean, like, that's the top 5 of all time. He's not for me, he's not my 1 or 2, but he's in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? I'll do a full top 5 and all time, whatever video later down the line during this off season, but he's in my top 5. And that's something that's elite regardless. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that's elite regardless. So like I said, I have 2 different top 5s. I have skill set and I have career accomplishments, just top 5. Right? So it depends what you're looking at. But again, appreciate just greatness. When you see greatness, you have to just appreciate it. So again, tip my hats off to the Lakers and to LeBron. Again, y'all calling me a hater or whatever. I give him his praise. It's just, it looks like I critique more than when the praise you, like, I don't give, so if everyone's giving this person this kind of praise, I still will give praise regardless. And when I see it, I'm going to give it. But then when this guy is hella over boosted and the things they say constant, they shove it on your throat, I'm always attacking the media narratives all the time because that's all you guys force down, that now it looks like I'm never giving him praise because I always have to attack the reckless things you guys are saying. Just pushing him over Kobe, just pushing him over this person, just doing all of that type of saying he's a GOAT. There's not leaving no context and giving context for LeBron, but not giving him for other players. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it's like, nah, I have to just go against that because it's not true and it's false and it's cap. So that's why a lot of y'all, oh my God, this and that. But regardless, LeBron's still great. Like I've always said, like he's still great. And now when it comes to AD, man, like, I don't, this again, y'all LeBron fans, y'all media, y'all do this all the time. Y'all are going to now say, oh my God, AD was nothing without LeBron. AD made LeBron who he is. And this and that, AD, you know, and LeBron is the one he didn't do. What he was a scrub without LeBron. He didn't do nothing. What was he doing? He's not that guy. LeBron got him the ring. LeBron did it. And I'm like, yo. And because now he won Finals MVP, LeBron carried. The same thing they did with Kyrie. The same thing they did with AD. Like I tell y'all. Let me briefly go over this quickly, okay? Because AD been that guy. AD been that guy. Don't get it twisted. I don't want y'all to cap and be saying these lies and these narratives that LeBron made this guy. LeBron needed AD. AD needed LeBron. It's a dynamic duo for a reason. He didn't make him. AD, look, bro, like AD for the last 2 seasons before LA was averaging 28 points. And basically 12 rebounds on 50% plus shooting. He's been a top 3 scorer almost all those years. What are y'all talking about? Averaging 30 plus in the playoffs that he's gotten to. Obviously, y'all, oh my God, he hasn't won without him and all this type of stuff. Yes, it's true, but how many guys have won a ring in their first 7 seasons in the NBA anyways? Especially as a number 1 pick going to a trash organization or trash situation. Not everybody is LeBron or Michael, where they make the playoffs right when they get there. Obviously, LeBron didn't make it the first year, but the next year he made it. And then now all of a sudden, you know what I mean? They might go to the finals or whatever. Like, not everyone is that, given that situation. Even those guys still had help in those situations. AD didn't really have much. And he's in the West. And yet, he's still in some situations overachieved. Like when they swept Portland. AD been killing. And people don't understand. NBA is about situations. And he's a big man. It's not like he brings the ball up the court and he can just do everything. He needs guys to get him the ball. He's a big man. Like, people don't know how to compartmentalize things and gauge things based off of this, and this. It's like it's just this and that's it. Just this and that's it. Situations are different, man. Situations are different. AD been that guy. AD been that guy. Just like how Kyrie been that guy before he got there. LeBron takes guys who are established, stars, superstars, or guys who are star potential, regardless you're in that tier, guys that are that, he takes them and let's go win together. It's not I made you better. Maybe off the court, maybe work ethic wise, all that type of stuff, yes. But in terms of production, AD actually sacrificed. AD was actually sacrificing. He didn't do what he could do. He's sacrificing. And still was elite and still was averaging 30 throughout the playoffs until the finals. Understand that, man. Understand that. So this is a dynamic dual situation, a 1A, 1B situation. It's not a 1 or 2 situation. It's a 1A, 1B, a dynamic duo. We elite. And then LeBron did more in the finals. Don't discredit AD. Don't do that. Don't do that. I have a problem with that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Go check. Go look it up. Because a lot of y'all catch amnesia. Go look it up. AD been that guy. Understand that. Understand that. Now, obviously, like I said, AD now got better in terms of, like, AD's going to unlock. He's going to unlock. People don't understand. When you win that one ring and you feel like, yo, that weight lift off, the monkey off your back, like, and you know how to get, you know what it takes. You've been there, been through those moments or whatever. He going to unlock. Now it's different. Now if the Clippers and Lakers match up now, it's different. It's not the same. Because my version of the Clippers AD matching up, or the Clippers-Lakers matching up with AD maybe not rising to the occasion in certain moments or whatever. He hasn't been there. Now he's been there and he's a champion. Now you have two 1As as champion. Like, it's different. It's different. So we'll talk about that later down. AD going on lock and he's just entering his prime. He's just 27 now. He's entering his prime now. So like, it's different. And soon it might shift where LeBron now has to take the back seat and AD better get the ball more often. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's different now. And LeBron knows that he's smart. And that's what I'm saying. LeBron is one of the smartest players of all time. He will take away, like, he's a smart player. He knows what his weaknesses is. And y'all, LeBron fans don't know what his weaknesses are. He knows what his weaknesses are. I'm not going to mention it now because, again, we're just going to give praise. But he knows what his weaknesses are. He knows what player he needs to compliment him. Or even sacrifice for him, but still would be elite, but still compliment him. But at the end of the day, he's being smart for his older. Like, he's going to be able to play. He'll probably play the longest amount of seasons. He's going to make history. And the reason why is because he's transitioning to point guard. Like, I'm actually listed as point guard. That's what he's transitioning to. And in order to do that, it's smart by guaranteeing that usage rate is as high as it's been. And as basically has to be as high because of the position you're playing. He's been a small forward, but sometimes he had to play. He'll play with Wade, who ball handles too. He'll play with Kyrie, who ball handles too. So like, he'll split it. He still majority plays on the ball and doesn't really do much when he's off the ball, but he'll split it. He has to just at certain times, just so that guy could get going or do whatever, right? He actually got a dynamic duo or a second partner that is a big man. So he's never bringing up the ball. So there's that whole debate and that what they were doing, that whole fight doesn't exist. Which is why you hear him say, we don't care because one, you don't care because regardless, I have to bring the ball up. You don't bring the ball up. We don't even argue about that. We don't even talk about that. I don't even feel like, oh my God, I'm sacrificing for this guy. And you feel, oh, there's none of that. That's a big battle that people don't talk about. People don't talk about at all. That's a big battle. That's something that happens a lot. Like just being the play initiator, just being the focal point, just giving the ball in the pick and roll. Like they could be involved in every play. You don't see on most guard, like let's say LeBron had it or Kyrie had it or LeBron or Wade had it or like even Paul George or Kawhi have it. It's like one of them are involved in the play. One will be the pick and roll. One guy's to spot up this play. I do the pick and roll and I kill. You do the pick and roll and you kill. Rarely can they do a pick and roll for each other. Obviously, Kyrie and LeBron could somewhat do it. And Wade and LeBron could, but it's not like every play you're going to do a 1-3 pick and roll or a 1-2 pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be doing that. You're going to be doing like a 1 because that big now is useless, like being on the block and being in the way, right? You'll have to do a 1-3 pick and roll. Let's say if Caleb's at the 5, right? Or stuff like that. So there's spacing. So it makes more sense for one of them to do it with one of the bigs and use them, especially TT, Tristan Thompson. Or, you know what I mean? You had Haslam or whoever, or Bosch or whoever, right? In the Heat. But this situation, every play, if they just wanted to do pick and roll, it could just be AD and LeBron. They're actually involved, both of them. Both of them, because of their positioning. So this helps prolong LeBron's career, especially stats-wise too, because most people, when they prolong their career, they have to play more off-ball, and now their stats get suffered because of that. LeBron, regardless, even if he says, I don't want to score as much, and he sacrificed some of his scoring, his assists will still increase, and he'll still score. He's ball handling. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is the perfect transition to prolong. The perfect dynamic dual partner he could choose is a big man, and AD is that guy. So he was smart. LeBron was definitely smart. He saw past, just this moment, saw through the future. Like, he's thinking. That guy's IQ is hella high. Hella high. Like, LeBron is a smart guy, man. He's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And he knows I can prolong my career. I can still catch Kareem like now. And AD, even if AD is the focal point and he's going to work bare, I'm still controlling. I'm still dumping it to him. I'm still like, you know what I mean? I'm controlling. It doesn't like, we're not going to clash in that sense. They might clash sometimes, or I need to paint, you need to paint, but it's not going to clash in that sense in terms of our positioning. What are we actually doing on the court? And that's a huge factor. A huge factor, especially as you get older and all that type of stuff. And that's LeBron being smart, man. Like, because you've seen it. Most guys, they fade away when they get older because another guy has ball handling duties. So they choose when he gets it. He doesn't get it as much. And now if he gets it, even like Wade, now he gets it. And then it's like, if he doesn't score in these opportunities where he gets it, oh my God, he's trash. He's falling off a cliff. And then now he has to force. And like stuff, sometimes it doesn't work a lot of the times. It doesn't work. 9 times out of 10, it don't work. So again, LeBron is smart and he's, He's a smart guy at the end of the day. So we'll see how, again, if this is this a one season thing, or is this something that is like, you know what? They gonna win. They gonna win a lot. They gonna win a lot. And before, obviously this video getting pretty long, but before I finish it, there's one thing that this is really reminding me. Obviously, we don't know if what's gonna happen next season in terms of all the rosters and whatever and the coaches and all of that filling out. But this can be, is this a one ring, or is this something where they could repeat and go to the finals maybe 3 times or next time or whatever the case is? Like, is this that situation? Right? And what this reminds me of, it literally is ironic and it's crazy, but it actually reminds me of not obviously how they play, but what's going on is reminding me of like when Kobe got his 4th ring, right? If you remember, obviously the difference was Kobe, no shade, but Kobe obviously he finished them in 5, like Orlando. He finished them in 5. You know what I'm saying? Like he was supposed to do. But this is what was reminding me when Kobe got his 4th ring, and now LeBron getting his 4th ring. Kobe had Gasol. Gasol obviously was established, but was having playoff woes. He didn't go far. Obviously his woes was different because he didn't win a game in the playoffs, but he was like with Memphis, he wasn't winning. Right? He wasn't winning. He wasn't going to the conference finals, wasn't getting out the second round always. Like he was just going to the playoffs and that was it. Right? He hasn't even won a game in the playoffs. Obviously it's different context. AD has won games, but AD is similar. AD has been eating and hasn't been known as a winner in terms of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Has a solid team, but not really a great team. Same thing with Gasol. So when you look at it from that perspective, it's like someone has been winning before. They have 3 rings. Come here, I got you. Right? I need to prove myself as well too. I need you. You need me. Let's do it. Same thing goes for LeBron. I need you. You need me. 3 rings. Let's do it. Right? The only difference was LeBron and then Kobe went to the finals and then lost before they won. LeBron just missed the playoffs so they both had some type of failure, obviously on different levels, but they both had 1 season of a failure situation. And then now the 2nd season redemption. And obviously that's what LeBron and Kobe both did. And it's just crazy because this is the year, obviously, of Kobe's tragic death. And this is like you redeeming the same year he died, you get the ring. But it's also the situation is starting to look the same. And it's looking like, is this the situation where as a 1A or number 1-2, well, Kobe and Gasol was more so 1A, 1-2, wasn't 1A, 1B. But, you know, this situation as a dynamic duo, are we going to go to the finals again and maybe repeat? Is this that situation with LeBron as older Kobe, older LeBron? Can we repeat? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be prolonged? Are we going to keep going? Obviously, the tail of the tape and the ending is going to be determined by when we see it in the future. But the situation is more similar. Obviously, it's not exact similar, but it's similar, man. It's similar. And look at LeBron get his 5th ring with an AD again and get an AD his 2nd ring. Just like how Kobe got Paul Gasol his 2nd ring, right? So repeating. Is that a situation? Is that a situation at hand? You know what I'm saying? And then like, this could be that. This could be that. It's crazy how things come full circle, but this could be that. Or do you think it's just an anomaly, just a 1 ring because of the bubble? And now when the Clippers come back, Golden State come back, you know what I'm saying? KD and Kyrie come back, you know what I mean? And all that type of stuff. Fans come back and will it be a different situation? Right? We don't know. Obviously, I'll do a video on more of my thoughts about that, more coming back, but you know, as we go into the future. But let me know what y'all think. Appreciate y'all for, again, subscribing to me, being here with me throughout this grind. You know what I'm saying? You already know it's a grind. I'm a 1-man team trying to do what I can. You know what I'm saying? The pod will be coming back soon. You already know. Just with, with COVID and a lot of things happening, we had to just postpone for a little bit. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We'll come back with the pod and all that type of stuff as well, too. I'm going to definitely very soon. Now the season's ended. We're going to be talking about, Raptors, maybe Oladipo. Raptors, Van Vliet. Raptors this, maybe, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff. People are sleeping. I'm thinking maybe Raptors should pick up a Cousins. There's a lot of things I'm thinking about. You know what I'm saying? What should the Raptors do? You know what I mean? And y'all heard it here first. No one's talking about Raptors taking the Cousins. If you're listening, I'm talking about that because that's something that, is very intriguing. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to trade, don't have to do nothing. Sign him. Redemption season. You feel me? Anyways, bruh, We got a lot of stuff like that. We got what the Nets are gonna do. What are, with Giannis and them, what are they gonna do? We got the head coaching situation obviously change with the Clippers. You know what I mean? We got a head coaching situation change with the Sixers. What are we gonna do? All over the place, right? What is the Rockets gonna do? Head coaching change. You know what I'm saying? Well, there's a lot of things going on. And then obviously the fans and this bubble, does it end? Does it continue? Obviously, and with this parade, I think not Raptors. I think the NBA dropped this ball with this parade before I end, because I think that not the NBA, that they dropped the ball, because if you look at it, I think they should use this as a prototype to check for the season. I was talking about this with my wife. I was saying that they should use this as a prototype to this parade. They should use it as a prototype to basically see how we're going to move forward with the season. Could we pull it off? You know what I'm saying? And what I mean by that, let me go into a bit depth so you understand. What I mean by that is that this championship parade for the Lakers, they could have waited to maybe even Friday, even like a week from now or whatever, when they won the ring, and basically not a parade throughout the city. Don't do that, because obviously it's Corona. But have a situation as, you know what? Let's test how many fans we could have come inside the arena. Obviously, they all have masks and they wear masks the whole time or whatever the case is. Obviously, the logistics you figure out and whatever. Put them 6 feet apart if you got to. See how much fans you can get. And even if, let's say, it's only 300 people, even if it's 400 people, see how it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? See maybe, how the max pound of people you could have. What if it's 5,000? Whatever you can in a situation with the Corona. Have, see how you could facilitate how people are going to move. See if you could test this out, right? Have a parade in the arena, right? And with the fans or whoever can get there or whatever. Put the mask on them. Check it out. See if it's, with aesthetics, if you could do it. And then obviously we'll see with the logistics and all that type of stuff. Obviously there's more to it. But basically you test it out. And let's say Lebron, or let's say someone, because you're in that situation, someone does get Corona. It's like, it doesn't matter right now. There's off season, right? So this is a playing field you could kind of use to test. You could test to see, can we have fans back? Can we really do this? You know what? Let's try this for this parade. Use it as a, as a testing situation. And that's where I think the NBA dropped the ball, because now they're just obviously I don't even know what they're going to be doing with. Are they going to have fans, or they could kind of continue a next bubble or whatever? Like, this is a way to test that. And there's no really kind of harm you could have, because your season is done. It doesn't matter if, a 1-2 guy, let's say, gets COVID. Now you could actually use a testing playing field and find it out. And that's what I think they should have done for this parade. Obviously, the parade throughout the city is what you normally do. They didn't need to do that. They could have just had a parade within the arena and have a celebration within the arena and test people out, or test how it goes and see, can we do this and keep this blueprint moving forward for the season coming up, etc. Like, they could have done their due diligence to test that out and use this as as an example situation. But they just canceled the whole parade in general. So I feel like the NBA dropped the ball with that. But again, moving forward, like I said, I'm going to be doing videos on a lot of things coming up. So again, appreciate y'all. Share, like, and subscribe. We out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? Bro, we got it coming, man. This was a great season. Obviously longer than usual. Weird as usual. More weird than usual, sorry. But at the end of the day, we got through it. We got through it. It's October. My goodness. The season over. Next season, who's going to put the team on their shoulder and get a ring? We got a lot to talk about. My goodness. I'm out here. There's no doubt here. There's no drought here. You feel me? It's true talks. Because true talks, man. And I'm out, boy.